Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Hey, today we're going to get back on the HS1 Yamaha 90 twin crankshaft. We're going to take a look at we're going to further disassemble the one that we split the other day. And we're also going to take a look at the one that came out of the engine. I know everybody's chomping at a bit. They want to see all the carnage involved in that. So I wasn't going to do that, but not on this one anyway, but I decided to go ahead and do it. I think everybody deserves to look at it after they've got to listen to it run. Well, anyway, before we do that, consider giving me a subscription and a thumbs up and hit that notification bell. And the next time I put a video up, you'll be the first to get it. So let's get over to the bench and take a look at this and see what we're dealing with. Oh, one other thing before we get started. I've got some audio issues with, I don't know, probably about 7 or 8 minutes. The first 7 or 8 minutes, I've tried to raise the volume, but it's kind of muffled. But after 7 or 8 minutes, everything corrects itself. Don't know what's going on, trying to work on it. So let's get on to it. Hey, today I'm going to get back on the HS1 90 twin, the crankshaft. I was able to find another set of cases, and I was kind of wondering about them for a little while. Looks like who I bought them from tried to get the shift eccentric out and didn't realize that those are put in with Loctite or rock set or something like that. And anyhow, it was stuck. And I thought, well, geez, am I going to send this thing back, or am I going to try to heat it up and get it out? And that's what I did. I went ahead and heated it up, got it out, and everything looks fine. The nut was cross-threaded on it, so I used a nut splitter to get it off and got a new nut on it. I think everything will be fine, and at least it's not broken in the Kickstarter area. But anyhow, today we're going to go ahead and separate the two crankshafts, the two singles, and take our measurements and just see at the end of the day if the rod is going to be acceptable to use again. And we're doing this on the spare crankshaft that I had, because it's pretty obvious that the one that came out of the bike, it's seen better days. This is the better crankshaft, so this is the one I'm going to work on later on. I may go ahead and build that one up, clean it up, and do all that, but right now I think this is the one we're going to use, unless we find something in there that isn't readily seen. And I just want to go over some gee-whiz information too on the pistons. I think you guys will find that pretty interesting. So let me get you overhead here. Let's take a look at what I got. Okay, got these. I've went ahead and done the measurements just to go over them with you so you can see what we need to do. Just like always, take your measurement reading here. I got 4290, let's see, yeah, 4293 or so. On the singles, it's 43 plus 0 minus 0.10 millimeters on these. And so that's gonna meet that criteria all right. And the other one I believe was just a little bit bigger. Nope, 4296. Okay, so we're good on both of these as far as width goes. And one thing I've done is I've gone ahead and took my square, lined it up, and scribed me a line on pretty much the bottom. So here's the pin here, so it's down here. And on this one, I did the same thing, only I did it at the top. This way, I won't get the halves mixed up.
So everything should stay in order there. So that's what I want. And this one, like I say, it's the seal area looks great. The threads are all in good shape. It seemed a little dry, but I think that's because it's just been setting a while. But we won't know till we get in there, and hopefully we'll be able to. I may have found a new labyrinth seal. I'm hoping I did, and I've got all the bearings on order, and if I get the new seal, I'll go ahead and install that too. We won't be building this today. This is just kind of a exploratory type thing to see. What I'm really having trouble finding is a piston. I found one 0.25 piston, and I can't find another one, or haven't yet. So I'm still working on trying to collect some parts for this. So, only time will tell. And I may just have to wait until I finally, something pops up. But I'm working on it. I've got a set the same engine that had this crankshaft in it, which is my spare. Also had pretty good cylinders, and they are probably going to clean up at 0.25. And I was able to find some 0.50s for the set that come out of this bike. I think it's going to take those in order to clean that one up. So either way, I do have a complete set of the 0.50 over, but I still lack one piston for the 0.25 over. So hopefully I've got some feelers out, and those will bring us in something here pretty soon. Okay, so we'll be taking the cranks apart. I just want to kind of go over the pistons here. The cool thing about this bike is the fact that it's the smallest twin offered by the major manufacturers. And it was only available 2 years, 70, 71. I originally thought, well, maybe I'll, because things are kind of hard to find for it. I thought, well, maybe I'll just bore it out to 100, and but then I'd have to come up with 100 heads, maybe even cylinders, I don't know, and maybe the cylinders won't fit in the cases. And the good thing about the 90 is it's a 5-speed. The 100s were 4 speeds. Anyhow, I've got these pistons here as a comparison. 90, YL1 100, and ASC or YAS1C 125. So let's take a look at the 125 here. 125 twin. We're at about almost 43 millimeters. It's 42.95. And this particular 100, I just happened to have one. I had on eBay for a long time, never sold it. It's 0.75 over, so it's a little bit bigger than normal, and it's at 38.65. I believe these are the 100 was 38 millimeter, and this one here was 43 millimeter. The 25 was, and of course the 90 is supposed to be 36 millimeter, I believe, or 3650. 3650. Yeah, there you go. And this is, of course, a standard, and 0.75 over. So I just, kind of went through that. I thought that's pretty cool. I kind of thought, well, maybe if you really had push come to shove, you could bore it out to 100. But I know you're going to have to rework the head, because the heads are different, and you'll have to rework that and get your squish. So it's a lot of work. You'd be better off finding the heads The 100s they made several years. You know, I'm thinking maybe 5 or 6 years. So there's a lot more of this stuff out there, but there again, it's a 4-speed gearbox. The 125 YAS1C I've got, the C is the high pipe version. It's 5-speed, of course, and so is the 90. So that's what's really, look at the difference between a 125 twin and the 90 twin. Okay, so I've gotten some parts. These are the piston pins, and I actually got I found an offer, and it was right here in Montana, up on the Canadian border. There's a seller up there out of Sweetgrass, and I get some good stuff out of him every once in a while. The only way he offered it was in offers of 3. So, and they were pretty reasonable. So I bought 2 offers and got 6 of them, and they're in very nice shape. And I did some. Let's see, I've got some keepers here, and I also got these lower crank bearings from him. And these, I believe, I got 6 of them for a very good price too. I don't remember what the price was right offhand. But I've got the lower pin bearings, upper pins, some keepers. None of this stuff. Well, yeah, some of it is. I think these are the lower bearings are available, but they're about $40 a piece. And I'm going to say I got 2 of these for $20. It was very reasonable. And I got the new block seals. I was able to get those out of Thailand. So I've got a set of those, and I got a couple packages of washers, thrust washers, so we should be good to go on that. I'm working on trying to get the right pins, but I got a couple off of the ProX website that should work. The only difference is they're hollow pins instead of solid pins, which should not make a difference. And I believe they're just a little bit longer, but you know, like less than a millimeter, probably less than a half millimeter. I can't really remember, but these were very reasonable. Yeah, they're 41.90. I think 41 is the length on the ones for this, but for some reason they're hard to find. And like I said, I got one of the pistons coming. Still looking for one. I've got some feelers out. Trying to find a Yamaha dealer that's you know, they pay for light speed, so you can get them to look across the nation to see who's got one. And so far, I'm not sure. I think this one probably should have. I think they're, I can't remember. I think it's like Speed and Sport or something out of Oregon. And they're supposed to be the biggest Yamaha dealer in the country. So if they're not on that light speed, no one is probably. So we'll see what they say. Anyhow, I think we're ready. We've got our measurements done. These pins both look very nice in the top. So we're hoping that they look real nice in the bottom, and that way I won't need to go looking for a set of rods. And actually I may have a set. I'm going to set these out. These are, I bought them actually for my 125, and some of the information that I've got says that they are the same, top and bottom. And they kind of look that way, but I won't know until I get it completely apart. And these have got the pins, the bearings, the new rods, and bearings in the top too. And I got these probably 10 years ago for the 125 I've got, and didn't need them. But these I think I got these out of Thailand. And they're long. I use a lot of long rods on like the 125 enduros and that sort of thing. 175, 125 is the same. But anyhow, we'll take a look at the rods when we get it tore apart here. So let's go over there and do it.
You guys, got it set up here in my separating plate. I think I've got I had to go turn a rod down that would go small enough to get through that hole, because I haven't done any like that. I don't even know whether I'm going to be able to, I may have to move this to separate it. I don't know how much travel I've got. I haven't gotten used to my new jack yet. Anyhow, okay, I'm down on it, and I've kind of got to be offset so that I miss the shaft behind it as it comes down. And the rod is clear, so let's see what it does. And I'm going to grab it down at the bottom. Well, it was tighter than I expected, but we were able to make it through it. Okay. This one looks a little rusty on the back side. Let's hope for the best here. Oh, that looks pretty good. I think that one's okay. Yeah. All right. Let me set this one aside. I'll grab the other one. I guess we should just go ahead and press the other pin out. I've got a longer one here. Maybe that'll be a little better, and I can square up on top of it if it doesn't bend on me or something. I don't like using them too long. All right, let's see what happens here. Yeah, that thing kind of moved on me. Let me square it up a little better. I think that's better. All right. Yeah, pin looks good. I feel a little wear right there. All right, now let me set this aside, grab the other one. All right, let's get our other one done here. They're pretty tight for as small as they are. I am surprised. Yeah, my initial thoughts are good on these rods, but they sure are dry. last one, guys. There just isn't anything to get your finger hooked on, so I think they're probably going to be in good shape. All right, back over to the bench. Okay, we're looking good here, guys. So I think those will work. I believe it's going to be a little lighter. We're going to check that out, but everything seems to work okay here. The length and everything is compatible. And yeah, like I say, it's going to be a little lighter, I think. I had 2 of those bearings from this kit over here, so I was able to do that, and had my new pen that I just got. Okay, that's used one. So let's take a look at this. Okay, we'll look at grams here. It's a Yamaha. 93 grams. Oops, that's a Yamaha too. There's the long rod. 71. That ought to zing that little zinger up even a little more. A little over 20 grams less. Yeah, you can feel it when you lift it. 93, 71. Okay. Looks like this is a player if we need to do this. I'm not real sure what I'm going to do yet. These rods are perfectly good. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. So they can be used. But I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to see if I can pick up another kit. They've got some out, I think, Namara or Narmara, something like that. And of course you can get Pro X kits too. And so this just proofs that the 125 twin, the YL100 twin, and the 90 twin are all the same as far as the rods, pins, and bearings go. So they should interchange, no problem at all. And there does seem to be the Pro X and the Narmara are both out there readily available. The Yamaha rods are getting kind of hard to find. One thing I didn't do, let's just do that real quick here, just to kind of verify. 1158. Oh, that's another Yamaha. Let me get one here. 1156, so no problem there. 1411. 1413. Yeah, so no problem on these, and the weight is 20 grams less. So I'm thinking we're good to go. The Narmara one or a Pro X, neither one are very expensive. So I may just go ahead and pick one up. Keep this one for the 125 if I decide I need that, or for anything else that comes down the pike. And I would assume the AT90s would be the same. If if you'd followed my channel a couple years ago, I had an AT90, which is the Japanese market only version of the YL1. Still got that. We did quite a bit of work to that.
It's what'd we do? We kind of put it back together as a survivor, and it didn't need any of this kind of work, but we did do a complete upgrade to electronic ignition, or I should say pointless ignition. So if you're interested in something like that, what we actually did, I got a pointless ignition off of eBay for about 35 bucks for actually a Kawasaki 4-cylinder, like 1000, and just used 2 sides of the pickups, and everything ran really good. And of course, you know, once you do that, you never have to worry about points again. You still time it, but you don't have to worry about your points wearing down. So the timing actually should be, you know, pretty much for the life of the vehicle after that. But anyhow, this is what we're looking at today, is this, and I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing right now. Okay guys, I just did a little math here and I checked the ID of the crank tabs. Generally they're about 0.7076, maybe to 5 on one of them. So they're pretty consistent. The 0.06 or 06.1842 Pro X pin that I said was hollow, I don't think I would use it, because you're generally looking at less than a thousandths clearance or a thousandths interference fit, whereas you use the OEM pin and it's almost 2 thousandths. So I don't think you'd even want to use it in the pinch. I kind of thought maybe we'd be okay, but it's they're actually figuring those a little bit different. So I'm on the prowl for a couple pins, lower pins, and looks like I may have one or two, and it's these I would rather not use. I can't hook my nail on it, but it's you know, for the one that I'm building, I want it to be to go ahead and put the original ones in it. The ones that come with the long are just a little bit more, so it is exactly 2 thousandths interference fit with these. So this here would be a good setup. And like I said, I ordered up the Nemera, so we'll see how those mic out. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that the Pro X was probably not a good way to go. So we've got all our pieces here, and probably the next time that we get together on this, we'll be putting this together. So I'll go ahead and get these halves all cleaned up, and we'll be ready for that. Okay guys, I know everybody's wanting to see the carnage in this, and so am I a little bit. So I guess we're going to go ahead and split it, and then we'll pop it apart over on the press and just see where we're at. There she goes. Okay, you can see the same things going on. We're splitting right up here. This is where it's pulling out. And we're still good clearance here.
Everything's still loose. So we'll just continue on. Okay, looks like we're, well, those bearings are really rusty. Got our shim here. Okay, we've got the one side out, and what I'm going to do now is, like we did on the other one, just loosen this one up. And then we'll take it over to the press and go ahead and press, get the rod that goes into here, making sure that our crankshaft rod is clear. Of course, it doesn't really matter on this one. These are toast. But that's what we're going to do. So I'll see you over at the press. Okay, got it set up here. Let's see if it's going to press out like the other one did, even with all that stuff, that rust in there. Yep, it's moving. Okay, I'm going to move you down underneath this time for your view. I think we've got good lighting there. Maybe too much. Okay, go ahead and grab it here. And go ahead and commence. Okay, there we go. Looks like one of the bearings came out this time. Okay, this bearing's stuck, and this doesn't look very good, but maybe it'll sand down a little bit, be all right. So we'll go ahead and try to push that out with the bearing separator. I believe it was moving. Oh, excuse me. I believe it was moving when I started tightening it up, so we'll see. It should come off pretty easy. And I've got everything free down here. Okay, so there's that bearing. Okay, yeah, it's looking pretty rough, but it might clean up good enough for a labyrinth seal. It's a rubber seal, and that is not quite the same thing, but it does need to be as good as we can get it. Okay, so we've got both of these loose. I've got another shim right here, so I'll take that off, and then we'll come back over and we'll pop these apart. All right, let's see what this one does. pretty tight, guys. Yeah, there's actually some oil in there. You know, that one doesn't look too bad on the bottom. But the top is toast, so it's just no good. At least it had a little oil where it needed it, I guess. And the spot faces look good too. All right, let me get this one ready to press. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Okay, get you back underneath for this one. All right, here we go, the last pin. Well, they're tight. Okay, I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a crack right here in that rod. You see it across the top. I'm hoping you can see that. I'll take some stills of it. That must have been stuck pretty tight. Yeah, see, this one's not near as good in the inside. That's where all the, that one's bad. But it must have been tight, and then we started it up, or he started it up, or whatever, and looks like maybe a crack there. Oh, I can see it. It's definitely a crack. Okay, guys, a lot of carnage on this one, almost even worse. I don't know how this stuff's going to clean up. I'll put it in some Metal Rescue and see how it looks afterwards, and then we'll wire wheel it. But I'm not figuring on using this one right away for sure. Looking pretty bad. There was actually some oil down there around the bearings in each one. but you can tell on this one we were a lot further gone in the lower end. So you can see the rust in there versus on this one looks really good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove the labyrinth seal, and I've got just a piece of tubing in here, and you want to make sure that you see the snap ring up here, no snap ring on the other side, and just get it as close as it can, but it can still get out the labyrinth seal. So I guess we'll see if we can get her out here. Sorry, trying to get you positioned here so you can see. Okay, I got you underneath. Hopefully you can see what's happening there. Okay, there's our seal with the O-ring in the middle of it. It came out pretty hard. I mean, for just being O-ring to seal it, I think it came out kind of hard. Okay, only time will tell how much of this stuff's usable, but the labyrinth seal, it goes in on this side, the deepest side towards the snap ring, and you can see the oil hole up here. I think that's what these are kind of for, is to help that oil get out. So that presses back in there like that, and you would see the flat side on the what would you call it, the thinnest area here, and the widest area is where the seal goes, and it goes with the notches out. Okay, so I'll get all this stuff, you know, not the bearings, but the main pieces, the things that we're going to reuse or possibly reuse. I'll get all that in Metal Rescue, and then I'll wire wheel it after it comes out of there, and we'll just see how much we can use. But I'm for sure that we're going to be using the spare crankshaft as the one going back in the engine. Okay, there you have it, guys. I know I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't even going to take that one apart, but I know everybody's kind of wanting to see the carnage that's in there, and there's quite a bit. There could have been a lot worse if we'd have continued to run that thing. Who knows how long that crack's been there, but it's on the worst rod that you could see pitting on the inside. The lower end of the other one was okay. Actually, it could have been reused if it hadn't been for the upper bearing being all pitted. But anyhow, we got to see the labyrinth seal brought or shoved out, and we've got all the. We'll go ahead and get those parts that I can derust in the solution. We'll see how that kind of stuff comes out. But I'm not putting too much stock in that one without having to re-sleeve the seal area on the mag side. At least that. But we'll see. Hey, thanks for going along on the ride. See you next video.